But Demon Lock.
Or Demon Lock,
Definitely.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Dark Iron Dwarf, Haunted Creeper. I'm liking this. This is a mid-range Warlock, I feel.
Yeah, something we haven't seen in tournaments at all, really.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it a bit on ladder. It used to be very, very popular early and close metagame, you know, alpha, beta, but past that, I mean, it kind of died off in favor of Handlock and Zoo.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if it's a mid-range Warlock. It seems from this opening hand, it just seems like a zoo, but with demons and with a big game hunter tech in.
But there's a Shadow Flame, so we saw... I mean, I would tend to assume with a Shadow Flame that it's not a zoo deck, but... Kolento...
Well, Savjz mulligan for against Zoo. He has the backstab and the SI agent perfect for versus Zoo, but unfortunately it's not going to be exactly that, I guess.
But it's going to be still pretty good in this case, because the hand that Kolento does have is not exactly, you know, protected against backstab as i7 agents. This is not going to be a completely wasted hand on Savjz's part. Now, the start of Kolento was really slow, based on what Savjz saw. So he saw only a Haunted Creeper on turn 2, and you assume that it has to be Zoo based on this. But that would be a slight mistake. So do you think Savjz has understood that this is more of a mid-range approach, maybe?
I think he could just be considering that Kolento got a bad draw, but Floating Watcher is in this deck. That's pretty amazing.
This is actually incredible when it comes out of the Void Caller. The drawback of Floating Watcher is the front cost. That's the big problem with it. If it comes out of the Void Caller, that's an amazing play. You get a 6/6 when you live tap. This is not negligible at all.
Savjz opts to not use the Fan of Knives this turn to cycle. I think he's preparing to use the Azure Drake and then prep Fan of Knives next turn for a potential board clear.
Yeah, you can use a 3/3 in your dagger to kill the Void Caller and then try to kill whatever's left over. But this little egg here is going to be a bit of a problem for him.
Yeah, the egg is definitely a problem. Now Savjz can't even use Fan of Knives here, or it'll activate the egg.
Exactly. It's a bit of a problem, but he opted to pass the turn, let Kolento pop his own Void Caller on his own terms. And Kolento has a lot of options here to actually trade up and still maintain a decent board presence. That's a really, really nice approach to Warlock. That's something I have not seen very often.
Yeah, this is kind of like a trade-up deck. He has Dark Iron Dwarf and Abusive Sergeant to activate all his eggs and even his Void Caller.
Yeah, this is as mid-range as I've seen Warlock be recently. And trading up will guarantee that the Floating Watcher comes out. And if he life taps right away, for instance, if he goes for the Abusive Sergeant, Floating Watcher comes out, then he life taps, that's going to give him a 6/6, which is, you know, not vulnerable to the an Eviscerate play, for instance.
Okay, Kolento decides to activate the egg instead of activating the Void Caller. Puts a 4/4 on the board and a second 4/4, so pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah, he forces his opponent at the moment to deal with the entire board, and I think with a Blade Flurry, this situation would be a bit different.
Oh yeah, definitely. He would be able to clear it somewhat, but right now, like, Savjz doesn't really want to use Fan of Knives here because it's just gonna activate. It's gonna activate the Void Caller. He's thinking about prep Tinker Oil.
Yeah, I think it makes quite a bit of sense because you still have decent follow-ups afterwards. You still have a second prep in case you need to do something else. And when you do find a Blade Flurry off of, say, Prep Sprint, which is going to cost you 6 mana, you could wipe the board after that. So it does seem like a play that he's considering.
Yeah, but this is such a weird deck that Savjz doesn't know at all if there's maybe an Ooze or a Harrison Jones in it.
Yeah,
it's just
big game hunter as well. Look at it. If he tinkers, the BGH is just going to annihilate this board. He's got to feel a little queasy about, you know, allowing the BGH to kill his Azure Drake after tinkers.
This is just the advantage of bringing a more unknown deck to the tournament.
Yeah, most definitely.
Your opponent doesn't know what to play around.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what's happening right now. We're looking at exactly the situation where Savjz is trying to make up his mind as to what to do, but he doesn't know what's in Kolento's hand at all. And this is showing at the moment. You can tell. Oh, wow.
There's a Doom Guard in Kolento's hand, but I don't think it's going to be played soon. It's probably mostly to try to get it off of Void Caller.
Yeah, most definitely. I think this is
Okay.
the optimal play. Whichever demon you get, you're good to go.
Okay, that's the better demon.
Yeah. Well, Floating Watcher is pretty solid, but when it can just get sapped afterwards, it can be you get a lot less value off of it. Wow, Blade Flurry definitely exactly what Savjz want to see here, I think, and even that.
Yeah, Blade Flurry is not enough right now. He has to prep sprint. Well, with the
Prep Sprint, Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry.
with the Deadly Poison, that's a good draw.
But even then, all right, I think Sap might be.
Sap is very good here. Oh, Blade
Yeah.
Flurry. That's another
No,
option.
it's not even good enough. You have to wait a little bit.
Savjz is definitely not going to attack here, I think. Oh, he is? Okay, he clears. Oh, I guess he has the Deadly Poison and the Goblin Auto Barber. So that's
Yeah.
enough to activate Blade Flurry.
And between Abusive Sergeant and Doomguard, though, Kolento is sitting on 7 damage here. That is nearly lethal, not quite, but nearly.
7 is not equal 9.
What? Are you sure?
Hashtag Amaz math.
Anti-Killbot as well. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Anti-Keelbot, another key card, and Defender of Argus. That could be the killing blow for Savjz. Savjz.
Yeah, because his Blade Flurry not really what you want to see, and if you have to use your dagger to kill off the Nerubian Egg, then you're on 5 health, and you know he's got a Doomguard. So there needs to be an Earthring Farce here at least that is played this turn. Dagger, Deadly, Attack Egg, Eviscerate. There's going to be 2 mana lacking to do anything here. The perfect play is going to be 2 mana off.
Now this rogue deck, it seems very similar to what Nyria brought. So they're teammates, you know. So it's very possible they brought the same rogue. Unfortunately, it hasn't been bringing them much success. Savjz is in such a difficult position right now.
Would you consider Earthring Farce here yourself and then eviscerating the minions on the board just to try to stay around and maybe top deck an anti-heal bot if you play one?
I'm not sure if that's a winning play. That's the issue.
No, but I don't know that there is a winning play at the moment. Dagger, Deadly Poison. Okay, eviscerate the 1/3. Blade Flurry doesn't help. You'd have to eviscerate the 4/4 that comes out.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
he
guess
does
double
opt
eviscerate
for,
is the play.
Yeah, there's really nothing else to do if you hope to stay alive, knowing he's got a Doomguard in hand at the moment. It's one of those weird situations. Double BGH in the deck from Kolento. Wow.
Well, I'm pretty sure Savjz isn't running any more 7 attack minions in this deck.
Yeah, I mean, Dr.
Besides
Boom is
the,
maybe the extent at which he's playing that.
The buffed Azure Drake is probably the most that you could hope for.
Jiraxis?
Even Lord Jiraxis.
Oh,
I mean,
Jiraxis is dooming the world right now.
This deck has Void Caller, so why not? It probably has Lord Jiraxis as well.
Yeah, it feels like a deck where you could just put a bunch of 1-ofs and still get away with it.
Well, you have not really much of a choice to play.
So there
Lord
is a nice
Jiraxis.
play here with Deadly Poison and Goblin Auto Barber for the Blade Flurry clear. If you ping the egg and you just develop Deadly Poison, I mean your Dagger and Deadly Poison Auto Barber, that allows you to Blade Flurry and live.
Pretty good, I would say.
Yeah, it's and he's even getting some of the board back. Not that it'll stay like this for very long, I don't think, considering the hand that Savjz is holding on to. But I mean, Savjz is pretty low on health right now. Is not willing to play Jiraxis unless he wants to reach for lethal, but that is way too dangerous.
Kolento just pretty much has to stabilize right now, and he can win the game. Savjz's hand is just 3 cards big.
Yeah, Big Game Hunter Shadow Flame is a throwaway, but it clears the board completely.
I think Kolento is able to make a read on what Savjz's deck is like right now, and he's not predicting 2 BGH targets in it.
Yeah, most definitely not. So, what kind of a card would you like to see here?
As Savjz?
If you are Savjz, yeah. If he plays anti-heal bot, that is probably his prime top deck. Wow, he would have had lethal this turn had it not been for the Lotheb. The Dark Bomb and Doomguard would have done it.
Lotheb saves Savjz again. Lotheb, of course, is one of Savjz's favorite cards in the game. A lot of other players, they like in Handlock, for example, or they've been cutting Lothab in various decks, but Savjz is a player that he likes it in pretty much every deck, in Handlock, in Miracle Rogue, in regular Rogue, in Paladin. If you give him a deck, he's gonna add Lothab to it.
So here's a question: as Kolento right now, you've got no more healing, right? He's used his anti-heal bot. He doesn't have lethal this turn, and the only way for him, like, he can't guarantee that Savjz is not running some kind of Cold Blood or Tinker's Sharp Sword. I mean, it's kind of unusual. You've seen 2 eviscerates, but if you play Jiraxxus, you're too low on health to be content with it, because the opponent has 8 damage on board, 9 from Dagger, and then potentially another 6 from Hand in some way. So is the play just to kill a minion here?
If I were Kolento, I'd try to clear as much as possible. And wow, Doomguard is going down.
Yeah, that is what I thought we'd be doing. Wow. Okay, interesting. Sabotage, eh? Actually, no. Jiraxxus is going to take the game afterwards. Yeah, even if he ends up clearing here.
Yeah, Jiraxxus with a 3 attack weapon can go straight to Savjz's face.
But if there's a heal, Sabotage could have taken the weapon out, but it won't get to.
Savjz can actually clear the board now.
Yeah, he can. He can clear the entire board, but I think if he draws something, it has to be a healing source of sorts. But
or a taunt. Taunt would be nice as well.
If he plays Sludge Belcher, for instance, that would be. But how do you taunt at 3 mana left? Because he has, you know, Fan of Knives and Sabotage. Arthering Farseer is probably one of the best top decks. Well, the best, in fact.
Sprint, not what you wanted.
Yep, not what he wanted. Then he'll have to just make do with what he's got. And Kolento's Jiraxxus play. This come down to 2 cards in Kolento's hand. Actually, it's much closer than I initially thought.
Yeah, basically, Savjz or Kolento had to discard Jiraxxus and he had to discard Dark Bomb.
In order for no lethal to be looming on the following turn.
Yeah, but the benefit of this is that Kolento at least had to show Lord Jiraxxus, so Savjz is now aware that it's in Kolento's deck.
Yeah, he will now be able to play around it with his future deck. So he's got 2 decks left after this victory from Kolento over Savjz. His Hunter was bad, I believe.
One of the worst opening hands possible.
And he kept it.
I'm not sure if he kept it.
We didn't see anything, did we?
I'm
didn't
sure he mulliganed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way Savjz would keep that hand.
Yeah, I don't think either. I'm just curious because we didn't see the mulligan phase.
Double Sky Golems.
Yeah, this is not exactly amazing. Kolento coining out the Nubian Egg here, knowing that with the Defender, I mean the Abusive Sergeant, he can just trigger it whenever necessary. This, however, is a bit of a better top deck here from Kolento. From Savjz here. The Aldor Peacekeeper will allow him to mitigate some of the damage output that might be coming out.
Yeah, I wonder if it was a mistake to attack the Nubian Egg, because now it allows Savjz to...
Well, he wants to play as Aldor Peacekeeper.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Dark Bomb. Yeah, I don't know if it's really the optimal play here, when you can just play Voidcaller and get a Jiraxxus or Doomguard. There's 2 Doomguards in that deck. Oh, the Equality Consecration going to be a massive deal here. To handle some of the big demons that come out for free off the Voidcaller.
Yeah, Equality Consecration is kind of Paladin's get out of jail free card. Basically, it's your panic button as well. If something goes wrong, you can reset the board for 1 turn, and then hope your opponent doesn't have any other big follow-ups coming up.
The Floating Watcher here, Savjz saw it last game, but it didn't get to do anything, you know, amazing. And the Paladin Sky Golem is one of those cards right now that is going to be quite useful, because even if the Floating Watcher goes up to 6/6 on the back of a life tap, it still will not be enough. A Twilight Drake. Allow me to express my surprise.
I think this is kind of Kolento's take on a Warlock that isn't weak to BGH. I believe there aren't any actually BGH-able targets in Kolento's deck.
There are no giants that I've seen. So
yeah, we've seen a lot of players. They see that Handlock is not that strong right now because everyone's just running double BGH. Even Kolento's deck right now is running BGH. So players have been trying to build handlocked-ish decks that play around BGH. And one example is a deck that's used by a player named Zelay. He used it in the ESL series. Basically, it had Twilight Drakes, and it had a combo, the Arcane Golem double power Faceless combo, and it was very effective. It didn't have any BGHable targets, and it won him that week, I believe.
Yeah, it's one of those. A lot of decks are trying to come up with no BGH targets, so they don't fall prey to the massive tempo swing that BGH offers. And Kolento made a really nice play here, where he just managed to get himself a Doomguard out and the floating wash as a 6/6. So Savjz is in the position where he is absolutely forced to wipe the board before things escalate any further. And between Lay on Hands, his anti-heal bot, he should just be able to replenish his health to a position where he's just super comfortable with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Between Lay on Hands is also a very good card to play next turn. You're not really pressured by this board right now. It's only 6 attack worth of power. So Savjz can just heal up to full health. Or Tyrion is also a play. We haven't seen any owls from Kolento's deck.
No, I haven't seen a single one, but maybe it's because, I don't know, he cut Ancient Watchers, so maybe he feels like you know how Iron Beak Owl can be used for 2 purposes? One of them is offensive in that you silence your own Ancient Watcher to turn the aggressive gears on, or to be a defensive play against enemy minions. So maybe he decided to cut them because their versatility was not really optimal in this deck. But I guess it's a personal choice here. He's playing Haunted Creepers maybe instead. Good targets for Dark Iron Dwarves and Abusive Sergeants. Alright, so Tyrion has to be dealt with in a way here for Kolento.
Yeah, and without silence, I think you're going to give him an Ashbringer.
And there's no weapon removal that we've seen. Matter for concern, perhaps. So he's just going to use a Spider and the Dark Bomb, or a Shadow Flame play.
Oh, Shadow Flame, not very bad in this situation.
Yeah, it kills the Shade of Naxxramas before it gets completely out of hand. Ooh, Dr. Boom. Okay, so the prerequisite was met, 7 mana and more, you're good to go. Not playing around MC Tech because, why would you?
Yeah, if I were in Savjz's position, I'd be thinking that this doesn't look like a deck that would be running MC Tech.
No, probably not. It's just
yeah,
what value are we going to give him, really?
There's so many weird cards in this deck, right? That he's got this card and this card. How is he going to fit my MC Tech in?
Yeah, so there's a big game hunter. There's 2 of them, in fact. So Dr. Boom is more Sneed's old shredder. Kolento basically made the I don't want to get BGH deck. This is pretty much exactly what I would expect from a deck like that.
Yeah, pretty much everything in this deck is not BGHable. And probably, even though he's running a Void Caller Demon-ish type of deck, he probably doesn't have Mal'Ganis either, just because it's a BGH target. Yeah,
it would be his only BGH target that we've seen, in fact. Alright, Defend of Argus.
Yeah, this helps Kolento survive the boom bots.
So he's playing around the hope that his opponent does not have the additional equality, but the Consecration is going to be pretty much just as good in this case. So do you play anti-heal bot here, or do you prefer to play the Sky Golem instead?
I don't think you're that threatened right now, but we can see Kolento's hand right now. It doesn't really have any burst, but Savjz might be a little scared because it's such an unfamiliar deck. Against decks that against decks that you kind of know most of the cards of, you can predict the maximum amount of damage they can do to you in one turn. But this versus this type of deck, it's just anything goes, kind of. Savjz is going to play a little safer, play the anti-heal bot. He thinks he's in a favorable position right now, and I would probably tend to agree with him, so there's no reason to take a big risk.
I would agree with him. Oh, wow. Is Void Caller Shadow Flame? No, he needs to get Jiraxxus. He needs to keep Jiraxxus in his hand. There is no way he will drop down the Void Caller at this point. But Sneed's Old Shredder, really a big minion here for Savjz to handle.
Okay. Piloted Sky Golem will come down on the field. Savjz watched those games between Tice and Kit Kats. He saw how powerful a Kel'Thuzad coming out of this Sneed's Old Shredder is, so he doesn't want to become a victim to that again.
But it's a bit problematic at the moment because Void Caller and Shadow Flame, if the side, I mean, that could just wipe the board clean. If Sneeds, you know, bops up the piloted Sky Golem. I mean, the problem is it's a 50-50 for Kolento right now, where he might just risk getting his Jiraxis thrown out by the Void Caller.
Oh.
Oh wow, that is
4-1
not at
Twilight
all.
Drake.
Wow. Yeah, this might this be a Shadow Flame turn?
Yeah, that Shadow Flame would be a pretty big risk, I'd say.
Just because of Jiraxis not coming back. But we saw an anti-killbot in Kolento's deck, and how is Savjz going to land an extra 6 damage on hand? Where does Savjz find like 6 damage right now without Dr. Boom?
I feel like another play could be just Shadow Flame Sneeds, and then just hope you get a Kel'Thuzad, right?
He got the Doomguard. That is really,
Oh,
really
wow.
important. That's like the best absolute pickup for Kolento in this case. And the Sneeds dies, bringing Mimron's head. Okay.
All right, at
Mimron's
least
head not
it's-
exactly...
At least that's okay. You don't really care too much about Mimron's head. You can just kill it with the Ashbringer, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and if Jiraxis does come out, I mean, Savjz's hand is going to be more than refilled, if not two-filled, in fact. Alright. So he has seen Jiraxis, which, as you said, was a really crucial piece of information from the last game. Going to allow him to play around that. And Zombie Chow is more of a liability here for Kolento than anything else. He doesn't want to let his Paladin opponent heal up anymore.
Yeah, Jiraxis is almost certainly gonna come down this turn along with the Zombie Chow, and now Kolento, his board is extremely strong. It's just about whether Savjz can use his card advantage to come back from this game. And the thing is, if you use Harrison Jones right now, you risk discarding your equality.
Yeah, which is something you'll definitely need. So maybe just killing the Zombie Chow to you know, heal yourself up in a proxy manner, then...
Well, I think Savjz is gonna use his True Silver and then throw down the Harrison, just so he won't discard his, as many cards.
Do you really need equality, though, if you remove the weapon from Jiraxis? I mean, you'll need it anyway for the Infernals.
Yeah. I think he's going for it.
And Jiraxis' weapon gets put in a museum. Consecration, very nice
Kel'Thuzad,
card.
that's a good one. Sledge Belcher is alright. True Silver is alright. Quartermaster
This is
alright.
great. Quartermaster.
Okay, Muster,
is-
you don't want Muster. You don't want Minute Shielded Bat. So both of his cards from Savjz were very good. Some of the
Yeah.
best he could have hoped for.
There's one top deck left that he's going to lose, but that's left to... We still have to see what it is. Oh, the anti-heal bot here coming in for Kolento, which... Wait. He could have attacked Harrison, sacrificed a 1/1, and then healed. Oh no, he had no
no,
weapon.
he
Never
has
mind.
no
What am I
weapon, yeah.
talking about? What am I saying? I just saw the museum fill up. All right, so Kolento's just in a position where Infernals are his biggest, if not only, win condition at this point. All right,
Oh,
no
Algebra.
equality yet.
That was a good one.
Yeah, but the Kolento's on 15 health. Is there a lethal looming? I'm not looking at it. I can't see the cards in the on the far
Yeah,
left. I'm not sure what it is.
It's because Consecrate really messed up the boards. Whenever you Consecrate a min with Paladin, it kind of
Okay.
shifts the board up or down. Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I've seen that happen multiple times. Oh wow. Okay. Well, Consecration will allow Savjz to help himself. Oh, I think it's a lay on hands on the far left. That's right. I remember him having two
yeah.
of them. So perhaps Consecration Sludge Belcher is what he needs.
Yeah, that would be a great play. The thing with Jiraxis in this kind of more mid-range Demon Warlock is that it's not as good as it is in Handlock just because you don't have as many supporting cards that help you activate the Infernals.
Yeah,
There's
standalone
only-
threats, basically.
Yeah. Basically, I've only seen one Defender of Argus in this Warlock deck.
Mhm.
There's no Sun Fury Protectors. There are Shadow Flames, but Kolento has used at least one in this game, I believe.
Yeah, there's one left in the deck, if he plays two, that is. I haven't seen any other supporting cards you mentioned, you know, Sunsphere Protector and whatnot. That I haven't seen any more of that.
Okay. Okay, Savjz goes for the double taunt instead, and he's going
Double
aggro.
taunt
This
and
is-
just aggression. So he's counting on his opponent not having any silences.
or any
Which actually, yeah, that is still a
taunts.
very nice play.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is exactly what I'm talking about. Savjz is the type of player who he doesn't always need. He thinks in ways that I can win by just going to face, and I don't have to clear the board. I can be aggressive.
Yeah.
Savjz, this is the point where he's turned it on, and it's gonna win him this game.
Yeah, it's actually going to win the game for sure. He was, I think, very favored anyway, but this is going to just win faster. And I think these are the kind of opportunities where you don't let your opponent top deck anything he wants. And that's kind of trademark of a player who absolutely understands what he's facing. He picked up on the deck he was facing pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he made really excellent reads overall.
Yep. So Kolento's mid-range Warlock, not going to surprise Savjz twice.
Now, Kolento is also actually just going to use the Big Game Hunter. I think Kolento knows Savjz's deck. He knows that it only runs one BGHable target, which is the Dr. Boom. And he just wants to fill up his board as much as possible.
Yeah, and he's hoping that Kolento has nothing, but the odds of that are what? Near null. I mean, he didn't discard anything that he could have lost. I mean, that he couldn't win with from the Harrison Jones. Draxus is sorry. Oh, it's fine, Draxus. We love you anyway.
Yeah, Kolento had to have known that he was dead. Savjz needed a Truce Over or a Consecration or a Muster for Battle.
Most definitely.
Kolento is kind of known for being very respectful of aggro. Oh my god, what a great hand from Kolento.
Yeah.
Probably the best non-Undertaker hand possible.
Yeah, the absolute anti-Consecration hand at the moment.
Oh,
Glaive Zuka. Oh no, was this the hyper-aggressive Hunter deck?
Well, Glaive Zuka, what that says to me is that it's more of a card that is good against aggro, like the Explosive Trap, like the Unleash the Hound. Because normally that 2 attack and buffing your minion by 1 attack isn't that great against bigger threats. But it is good for taking control of the board early on.
But now the shielded mini bot, I mean, if it's allowed to pop the 2 spiders, is going to give Consecration value to Savjz in a way. Big Game Hunter is getting thrown down there as a body to stop the aggression coming from the Hunter, and Savjz just goes face, knowing that the Hunter might be forced to trade because of the fact that the aggression is also pretty strong on the Paladin side. 6 damage return versus your 2 damage return. He's probably satisfied with taking that deal.
Yeah, Glaive Zuka is will come into use right now. It deals very well with the BGH.
Yeah, you can actually kill the entire board here if you decide to pop a spider, but how good do you feel about that, really?
Okay, no spiders will be popped today.
Ooh.
An owl.
That's got to feel good. That's got to feel good for Savjz.
Savjz might be starting to stabilize soon. He's considering throwing out the Wild Pyro here just to have a bigger threat that his opponent needs to deal with.
Do you feel like for the long-term play this is generally a winning play? I feel like you will need this guy at some point, but alright, Savjz dropping down the Wild Pyromancer, forcing his opponent to deal with it. You cannot leave a Wild Pyromancer live as a Hunter. If you count on your little 1 health minions to win you the game, you can't let that live. There's no way.
Savjz also doesn't have any activators for the Wild Pyro, and I believe he only runs Equalities and Consecrates. He doesn't really have any other cards in his deck that can activate it. I mean, there's the Wild Pyro Muster for Battle synergy, right?
Yeah, the synergy of Muster for Battle is just absolutely amazing here. I mean, as you might imagine. So Savjz is putting down the Wild Pyromancer probably to force the Glaive Zuka to go for it. But if Leok comes out of this Animal Companion, this is going to be a pretty nice board clear. It's Huffer, okay.
That's actually not very good because
no, it's not.
There's no way to clear this shielded mini bot. Like I assume you're gonna clear the owl and you're gonna clear the Wild Pyromancer, but you have to leave that shielded mini bot on the field so it can just trade.
Well, you have a dagger. Yeah, I mean you have a weapon, so you can use Web Spinner on the owl, Huffer on the 3/2, weapon on the 2/2, and then be left with a 1/2 spider and a leper gnome.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily entail that. Oh wow, he's weak to Consecration. This is an absolutely all-in Consecration play. The low-step follow-up might be able to let him, keep the aggression going.
Shielded minibot, not what he wanted. He needs a Consecration in the next 1 or 2 turns, I'd say.
Yeah, this is one of the This is one of the turns where Kolento really made a nice call, where he said, if you don't have Consecration, I'm going to be able to establish some kind of threat. If you do, though, that's another issue. And he made the right call. Just saying, if you have 2-server champion, it's no problem. But if you do have Consecration, then, you know, good on you. And seeing the Wild Pyromancer might indicate that there is no Consecration.
Thinking about trading. But no, he says, I'm a hunter player. I'm going to go for the face.
Yeah, I guess he's not worried about Savjz just dropping down a Quartermaster, but
I guess he is now.
You have to be careful, because, I mean, a 3-3 will take out about 2 of your minions very, very quickly. So that lay on hands might pay off. That after all, playing 2 of them, you know, secures that you're going to get one more often than not, and it's a big deal here.
Yeah, but before he can lay on hands, he'll have to deal with the Dr. Boom that's coming up, which is a really huge threat.
Maybe he'll find the Outlaw Peacekeeper on time. At the moment, Kolento just backing up a massive amount of damage every turn. So Savjz is down to 10 health right now, and he doesn't know what the trap is. He has absolutely no idea. He has to play around freezing, so he might just consider throwing his 2-2 somewhere, but...
I think the only trap you're really scared of is the snake trap, which Kolento doesn't have right now. I think this is fine. Explosive is pretty much the best that Savjz could have hoped for. Now, Savjz is going to go into this Lotheb, hopefully
and
something
hope for
like
Senjin.
Senjin, or maybe even a Mogishan Warden. Oh, Blast Mage, not
Mogishan Warden, I never thought I'd hear those words. Yeah. But yes, you're right, that would have actually been quite useful. But no, looking at this though, Dr. Boom, not really as big a threat as I initially thought it might be.
Yeah, Savjz can somewhat deal with it on the board right now.
Yeah, and he's gonna draw cards off of the mini bot, of the boom bot, that is. I mean, he can heal for 8 damage, and then yeah, it's a pretty nice. I mean, it's not the best position, admittedly, but it's not, you know, the most horrible one either. I've seen much worse scenarios. And he can kill the Dr. Boom and draw infinite cards.
The question here is, how big of a risk do you want to take? Like, when do you trade into the boom bot with your Acolyte, basically?
I think after you've killed Dr. Boom.
Like, you don't want to risk the Blast Mage dying at all? There's like a...
No, I attack the Blast Mage into Dr. Boom right now, and I just let it die.
Okay, right? Savjz is going to take a slightly bigger risk. It's like basically a 1 in 12 that the Blast Mage dies.
Blast Mage dies, yeah.
Yeah. So
oh, wow.
Wow. He took a 1 in 12, basically. Or 11 out of 12 for something bad to happen. Or something not
mitigating
bad to
some of the damage that he would have taken to the face in general, basically.
Savjz is just considering whether he can die next turn, if he can develop the board any further.
So that means he doesn't plan on lay on handing, is what this means.
Yep, I think that's fine.
1, 2, 3. There's 3 damage on board. The hunter needs to find 6 from hand. Not the most likely outcome.
Yeah, he basically needs a kill command plus some other card. Kill command
he needs like
plus,
arcane shot and some shenanigan like this, which is going to get
more likely something like Unleash the Hound's kill command would have been lethal, or any beast plus
a very specific combination of 2 cards would have had to be drawn here. This is going to help a lot.
Anti-Keel bot, exactly what Savjz needed. The question is right now, does he play the Anti-Keel bot or the Lay on Hands?
Both I feel represent like Lay on Hands and Muster for battle is pretty sweet because it lets you mitigate some of the... Well, then again, Unleash the Hounds would become a problem, assuming you do go for the Muster.
You mean Antique plus Muster?
Mm-hmm. The combination of both, but he probably wants to check for traps first. The thing is, how much damage do you take as a follow-up if you check for traps? Equality Muster, not exactly shining play because you don't heal at all.
Savjz is asking himself, which one of these minions do I want to get bounced back in my hand? Is it the Aldor or is it the Harrison? You know, funnily enough, like the Blast Mage, if you bounce that back to your hand...
With the heal bot?
Yeah, it has synergy with the heal bot.
Oh, that would be lovely. Oh, Succubus. Oh, that is one of the best possible outcomes here for... I think it's just below Millhouse.
Well, in this scenario, it's exactly the same as Millhouse.
Yep.
Alright, this is very good. Heal bot plus muster.
Alright, Unleash the Hounds is probably what Kolento's hoping for at this point.
Oh,
and he finds it.
That top deck.
Oh, wow. If that had been in his hand last turn, that would have been a bit more problematic. But right now, the 8 health and lay on hands coming up might ensure that Savjz can actually, you know, just stay in the game without too many problems. And anytime he finds a consecration off the top, he'll be fine. I like to see Savjz's face right now, but I'm stuck with a picture of him.
No, that's his face right now.
Okay.
That's what he looks like.
That's how he is. He just never expresses anything. I see how it is. So do you pop the Haunted Creeper? Because you haven't seen Consecration, and if you had it, you would have expected it to be played a lot earlier. So popping the Haunted Creeper just to get those extra knives might be a play.
Okay, in fact, it is the play.
Yeah, now you're forcing him to have Consecration or Wild Pyro. You saw him throw Wild Pyromancer earlier, and you dealt with it pretty well.
Oh, 2 lay on hands.
Okay, so that is going to buy him the time he needs to maybe find that Consecration. But he does need to find that Consecration.
Oh, there it is.
He does. So do you equality to kill the Juggler? Here comes the question.
Oh.
Before he drops like another minion, he gets a free knife.
I guess
do you
not.
even whack away at these hounds? It's useless, right?
Yeah,
What's
you're
the point?
basically you're gonna take 1 damage from them anyway.
Yeah. Oh,
Eagle
Harrison
Horn.
Jones. That belongs in a museum, but not at the same time as Consecration, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Hey, that is
that's,
bringing him down very, very low again. Actually, I think that sets up lethal despite the Consecration at this point. He cannot consecrate and heal up.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is
I
quite
think that might
unfortunate.
just... So do you have to lay on hands yourself, equality, and then trade your 1/1 into the Knife Juggler? And then hope for another heal bot if you've got one, or taunt minion. I don't know if he's running any more healing.
If you do that, you're still dead.
Yeah, there's no winning this, is there?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, well that is lethal here for Kolento, who I mean, I guess that's what you call top decking. I don't know,
Yes.
that Unleash the Hounds into the Eagle Hornbow was really unfortunate for Savjz, who played this pretty well, but still unfortunately fell down to the Might of Hunter. Is the prophecy going to come true though? Is he going to get between a win and a loss here?
Yeah, as we saw yesterday from Firebat's Druid, getting 2 innervates is pretty good.
No, please, don't remind me. Don't remind me of those games. I cried afterwards. Oh, and the Keeper of the Grove, exactly what he wants.
Yeah, indeed. I was just talking about Innervate Keeper as one of the cards.
goodness. What?
Turn 1, add your drink.
Kolento's got to be thinking, wait, what is this? And the good thing about Azure Drake here is that it does cycle. What if he gets Wild Growth next turn?
That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that'd be a sick
Then he
top deck.
curves into Keeper. A pretty
Yeah.
good deal, I'd say.
It
But
would
even
be a
if
really, really
he
amazing
doesn't
deal.
have it, then yeah, he's just got a strong body. Like this Azure Drake, it's not particularly weak to like a freezing trap or a hunter's mark either.
But the thing is,
man.
at the moment, we're looking at a Glaive Zuka play here coming from from Kolento, who's just going to remove the Azure Drake. So maybe Savjz is just trying to put the opponent on the biggest Force of Nature clock he ever could.
Yeah, Savjz wisely he doesn't clear. He goes on the offensive. He's saying, "Hey, I've got the initiative. I'm gonna force you to clear instead."
Yeah, and he is forced to clear, in fact. He might take another 4 from this Azure Drake, which is 8 damage dealt from that 1 minion. And then you have the follow-up Big Game Hunter thrown on the board. That's another 4. So, I mean, Kolento...
Ooh, wow.
Whoa! That is not at all what I expected. Not in 1,000 years.
Well, they're just playing a game of chicken right now. They're both saying,
Yeah, but
"I
the
can
thing
be
is that Keeper of the
more
Grove is
aggressive."
going to... I think Keeper of the Grove is going to seal this in favor of the Druid if they just both keep playing that game.
Leok would be pretty devastating here. There it
Wow.
is.
Okay. Well, Huffer would have done a similar job, but it wouldn't have spawned a trap. Well, It's a bit unfortunate here.
Keeper to do 2 damage, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. This is not the keeper you want. This is not at all. It would have been, you know, as a turn 2 play against something like a mad scientist, but. Oh wow,
Okay,
a knife juggler. Wow, this is amazing here for Kolento. The druid has no removal AoE wise. He'll have to stop and wait on Dr. Boom to come and maybe help, but there's no innervate, so that's at least 3 turns away.
Not only is there no innervate, there's no chance for innervate because both have already been used.
Exactly.
Once again, showing the strength of Hunter. Even though 2 innervates were used, that's usually game over against most classes. But Hunter was able to come back.
Yeah, Leok really helped here. I mean, allowing him to trade the mad scientist into an Azure Drake that was innervated, and then spawning a trap that guarantees a tempo win sometime down the line. You know what? This might be the first time I'm happy to use Force of Nature as a removal piece against Hunter. Usually very inefficient, but in this case, not at all. Oh, snake trap? No way. Okay, freezing.
Well, Savjz has no plays this turn. He can Savage Roar to clear either the Leok or Knife Juggler.
I think you have to kill the Leok in this case.
It represents 5 damage. Just insane.
But the Loatheb from Kolento going to prevent him from using Force of Nature, so he'll have to resort to his Keeper of the Grove to kill the Knife Juggler, but that's not a very strong play. I mean, it is a play, but it's not a very strong one. And Savjz right now on 14 health. Ugh, swipe.
Swipe would have been pretty good too.
There's 11 damage at least right now on Kolento's board with hero power.
Oh, high main on 6, perfect.
Yeah, high main. No, that's yeah. This is not gonna work.
Kolento doesn't have to think much this turn. Jams down the high main.
Jams down the high main and Ghostface, and there's no way Savjz can clear this without dying in the future turns. There's not a single way to do so.
I mean, there's pretty much lethal on board right now, just with the 2 Leper Gnomes and the hero power.
Exactly. He might just, you know,
He might just kill
commit
himself.
Sudoku. Yeah, commit Sudoku, and that's fine. Yeah. So apparently, not banning Hunter again, a mistake in this tournament. It's been very sweepish. Whenever Hunter has not been banned, they've just taken games away from just everybody they faced.
Yeah, Hunter
also
definitely
falling prey to that.
Definitely a top deck in this tournament and in GVG. I feel like in a lot of tournaments, in some tournaments, there's just one class that sweeps everything, and then on the ladder the next week, you're gonna see that one class just